A News 13 investigation exposes why restaurant ratings may not be the best indication of which eateries are cleanest.
Investigative reporter Mike Mason has this reality check on how the system may be letting diners down.
Buncombe County inspectors have the power to make or break a restaurant just by the score they issue after an inspection.
Oh, yeah. Let me get that out.
Peter Estrada knows this all too well. This past September, his pizza restaurant in downtown Asheville, Circle in the Square, received the lowest score in the county, an 83.5.
It became my least favorite number in the world, you know.
Did people really notice that?
Some did, but more importantly, I noticed it.
All restaurants start with a perfect score of 100. Inspectors then deduct points for various violations. But our investigation found discrepancies between how those points are deducted. Circle in the Square was docked points for several violations, while other restaurants were not, even when they had been written up in the past for the same thing.
How could one restaurant be, cited for it and the other one's not? Especially if they're after repeat offenses, it just makes no sense.
David Meese supervises the county's food inspectors. We showed him numerous examples of how Asheville restaurants are being scored differently for the same violations. Each time we asked Meese about why this happens, he basically had the same answer.
We have to assume that he used his best professional judgment. We have to use our best professional judgment. We're also allowed to use our best professional judgment. We do rely on our inspectors to use their best professional judgment when they're conducting inspections.
You've said that like 5 times.
That's all that we can say.
We also found when inspectors write up a violation, their descriptions can be hard to understand. For example, look at this inspection report from last December at the McDonald's on Long Shoals Road. One violation reads, "Dead or trapped birds, insects, rodents, and other pests shall be removed from control devices and the premises." It goes on to say there were dead flies in the walk-in cooler and the ice machine in the dining area.
So is it a dead or trapped bird, insect, or rodent?
It could be one of all of the above.
But you don't know?
I did not do the inspection.
So there's no way to tell exactly what that was?
No.
Meese tells us when inspectors write up a violation, they don't take additional notes, so all he knows is what they write in the report. A McDonald's spokesperson tells us that violation was issued for dead flies, not for rodents or any other pests. She says the issue was corrected immediately, and since this McDonald's is located inside a gas station, customers constantly buzz in and out, and when they open the doors, flies can also get inside. Here at Mela Indian Restaurant in downtown Asheville, this is clearly a violation. The window is open and there's no screen to keep the insects from coming in.
What would you do?
Well, you would mark them for that, for having windows or doors open without screening.
From outside, we could see these dead flies at the end of the bar and other dead insects lodged between the bar and front window.
What would you do in that case?
Well, you mark it for, dead insects visible inside the restaurant.
Mela's owner tells us in part, people make mistakes on occasion, but we are working hard to improve things. The manager at Salsa on Patton Avenue refused to speak with us about recent violations.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, we're going to do no comment.
From the sidewalk, we tried to get a look inside Salsa. That's when a man in the kitchen began banging at the window. He then stacked up boxes to block our view. In the dining area outside, we found a dirty apron draped on a pipe and flies swarming around a trash bin. The bin's cover was broken and the trash was right next to the employee's entrance.
Shouldn't be that way. You should have your waste containers away from the rear door so that they're not attracting flies.
According to reports, Salsa still hasn't corrected a repeat violation involving insects since September of 2012. The inspector noted windows need to have a fly curtain or a fan for the prevention of insects. 1 point was deducted. The same inspector went to Salsa again last February, but for some reason that insect violation flew right past her. She caught it again in September during her latest inspection, and again, she docked Salsa 1 point. Meese says deducting points is the only thing inspectors can do to enforce these non-critical violations. However, when a restaurant is sold, Meese can require the new owners to address these issues before reopening.
But since it's the same owners, you can't do anything about it.
We deduct the maximum number of points that we can.
And that's all you can do.
That's all we can do.
Ironically, those past violations are then hidden from the public once the new owners take over. For example, We found only one inspection on file for the 12 Bones restaurants in both Arden and Asheville. Mies says when the restaurant was recently sold, all of the prior reports were deleted from the database. And we found that database is also missing reports for follow-up inspections. When inspectors find critical violations at a restaurant, they often do a re-inspection 10 days later. But for some reason, the county doesn't enter any of those reports online.
If the public would like to see that, maybe we can look at adding that capability to the website.
You have a thermometer?
Everything dated? Yeah, right on the outside of the door.
Estrada hopes customers will go to that website and review those reports. That way they can decide for themselves whether a high-scoring restaurant has really made the grade.
All right, I'll be right with you.
And whether his pizza place really deserved the county's lowest score.
I can't, come into my restaurant every day and knowing that that's a sanitation score. That's just not the restaurant that we have here.
A week after we began our report, inspectors came back out to Circle in the Square and gave the restaurant a 98 score. Because of our investigation, Mies is now requiring his inspectors to be more detailed when describing a violation so people know exactly what that violation is. If you'd like to check out a restaurant score for yourself, just go to our website and click on News Links. In downtown Asheville, Mike Mason, News 13.